What is up, guys? You already know it's your boy Kagi back at it again with a new video, and today we're gonna interview Jihoz. Jihoz is a growth lead at Axie Infinity. He is a pillar of this community, not only in Axie Infinity but also in the blockchain gaming community. Everyone respects him, and there is no question as to why he is the growth lead at Axie Infinity. He's a reference of trust, a fountain of knowledge, and he sits on a pedestal not because he put himself there, but because he earned it. Today, we're going to find out everything about him, the Axie Infinity team, the crazy mystic Axie madness, and what to expect from Axie Infinity in the coming month. Welcome, bro. Welcome. How do you like
Thanks
that?
for having me, man. Yeah, that was sick. Made me sound a lot better than that I think. But yeah, man, thanks for having me on. And I've been loving your content. So yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And thank you for all the support you guys have given me, because it has boosted my confidence. And not only me, I know a lot of content creators and people that are going through stuff in life, whether it's economic, whether it's, all this little craziness going on. It's a good thing that you guys are, putting a lot of effort into the community. So we thank you as well for that. Okay. So the first thing I want to know, talk to me about yourself. And before you talk to me about your background, tell me what you've been up to. Because I know you got married recently, and where you at right now? What are you doing right now?
Yeah. So I'm American, so I'm from the States. I grew up in New York. I just recently got married in Korea, and then after the wedding, I came back to the States. I'm currently in New York. But
Well,
usually I'm with the
congratulations.
rest of the Axie team, and yeah, usually I'm with the rest of the Axie team in Vietnam.
Okay, nice. And your wife is with you, or is she waiting for you over there?
Yeah, no, she's with me. She's with me. Yeah.
Nice, man. Congratulations, man. That's a beautiful thing to do. So, all right. So, tell me a bit about yourself in terms of, were you a gamer before? What were you doing before Axie Infinity and the crypto world? Did you study anything? Obviously, I kind of know all this information from other interviews that I've watched, but for the viewers that haven't seen that, yeah, let them know what's up.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I grew up collecting things and playing games. So my father was an insect collector, fossil collector. So I was always going on little expeditions and trips with him. I also grew up playing games like Diablo. I was a early WoW player. So vanilla, closed beta tester as well. And so yeah, I grew up collecting things, playing games, and I think that's kind of like what led me to the blockchain gaming and the NFT space. In terms of studying things, I mean, I don't think school is that important, but I studied military and economic history. So I wasn't. I was interested in, I guess, like, questions around what is money, what is the nature of power. Are there any lessons from the past that we can use to inform and create a better future? So yeah, I was interested in that kind of stuff in college. Always since an early age, investing. So I was interested in like gold and silver when I was a kid. Got into tech stocks when I was in college, and yeah, some of my friends who were really smart got me into Ethereum, and that's kind of how I found out about CryptoKitties first and the rest of the blockchain gaming space.
Wow. So you understand the whole rarity thing and collecting stuff, which a lot of people ask themselves all the time, or ask me or anybody else in the Axie community, in the blockchain community, why would you even have one of those Axies and pay this amount of money and da da da? And it's understandable, but what I always tell them is like, what are you passionate about? If you're passionate about cars, you would buy a Lambo. Why would you buy it? For status, because you feel good. It looks good on you. It's comfortable. So all these things together, and it's kind of the same thing in the blockchain world, collecting insects, whether it's Pokemon cards or whatever the hell it is. It's all about how do you value it. And if other people put value into it, then the community grows as well. So yeah, so you have a good understanding on that. So tell me, what made you go into the crypto world? You said a friend told you about it, but how was it? Did that friend just tell you, hey, look at the crypto world, and you just jumped in? Or did it take you a little bit to get into it? Because a lot of people, it takes a little bit for them to get in. For me, it was kind of quick, but I know other people, you have to tell them and tell them and tell them, and then they're like, fuck it, let me see. Yeah.
Definitely. So yeah, I learned about it I mean I've known about crypto since 2011 actually. And even in 2013, my friend wanted me to join a crypto fund. He tried to convince me to like drop out of school and just go work with him on that. But then, yeah, so I owned a little bit of Ether, I think maybe 2016, 2017. But I was working a job. I was working as a kind of a talent consultant, and it's like a recruiter for hedge funds and tech companies. But then I kind of just got bored, right? We all go through times in our life when we're just like in a rut and not really sure what we're doing is the right path for us. That's really how
Hmm.
I felt in my kind of traditional my role at a traditional startup. And yeah, so I quit, and I was kind of thinking, what should I do with the rest of my life? And it was then that I started doing a little bit more research into Ethereum and cryptocurrencies. And yeah, I found out about CryptoKitties, and just became a member of the community. Started to add value, make a lot of really interesting connections, and that's how I actually met some of the other members of the Axie team. And yeah, so that's kind of like how I streamlined or how I went into the space.
Nice, nice. So basically, you answered my next questions, which were, what were you doing before crypto, and what was your introduction to blockchain, which is basically CryptoKitties, which I never got into because I don't know why. That sucks, but whatever. Now I'm in Axie, which is better. So let me ask you, how did the idea of Axie Infinity come about? What was the inspiration to create such a game? Because I know you a little bit of Pokemon, a little bit of CryptoKitties. It's a combination, but how did that just come about and just like, okay, let's do it? Because there's a moment where you're like, let's do it. You talk about it, and then there's that let's
Yeah,
do it
yeah.
moment.
So Trung is the guy who originally, is the guy who said, let's do it, right? So he was an early CryptoKitty player. He's an engineer, and he was interested in building something. And he, saw the potential of CryptoKitties, but also that, there could be so much more potential if it was something along the lines of Pokemon or Tamagotchi, right? That's like CryptoKitties is like, it's kind of compared to Beanie Babies, right? Which was kind of a fad. Whereas Pokemon is a 20-year and counting dynasty in the video game space, right? So something like Pokemon built on Ethereum, I think, and also just the idea to create a game. Trung and Masamune, who Masamune is kind of the first one to ever draw an Axie, came up with a lot of like game design as well. They were lifelong friends, and so when Trung had this idea, he thought that Masamune would be a great fit to kind of bring some kind of world like that to life. And yeah, so it was them kind of initially. And so I actually found Axie as a community member, and I just thought that what little art they had at that time was genius, and the whole idea made sense. And none of it, it was all just a vision at that time. So it felt like there was so much, infinite possibility that you could come in and actually make the dream into reality. I think that's also why our community is so strong, is because we have so many community members, or we have community members that have been there since day one, right? When it was just a website and a dream, right? And I think to kind of progress through the stages of development with the community, I think that's part of really what makes it special.
Yeah, yeah. People really, really believe in this game. So I see there's a belief system that is just kind of natural, because you don't buy that belief system. A belief system that you buy if you try to buy communities. You get a percentage out of those communities when you buy them, but it's not the same. It's just not the same. And it definitely feels like that, like a community that everybody's trying to help each other. Everybody has their own like focus on different things, and yeah, I totally, it's totally amazing for me. It's been amazing, honestly. So I understand where you're coming from with that, especially you came from the beginning. So what was the thought process for you to make that life changing decision? Like, let me pack up and get out of here, because that takes courage. That takes courage. And I understand what it
Mm.
takes to make those type of decisions. For some people, easier. For some people, it's like Do I do it? Do I not? What is my family gonna say? What is my girlfriend gonna say? What is my brother gonna say? And da 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 da, whatever the hell, you know. So how was it for you to make the decision, make that switch? Boom, I'm out of here. You know.
Yeah, I think when I see something that has potential, I can, make my decision very quickly and have a high level of conviction. So, but yeah, it was difficult, like explaining to my friends and family like what I was doing. They didn't really understand it, but a lot of them are also just like, yeah, like Jeff is gonna be okay. So, but yeah, it was a huge life decision. I gave my dog to my parents. I had broke up with my girlfriend at the time, and kind of moved halfway around the world. So it was a crazy life decision. But it was amazing, and I think part of it was I saw how strong the community was and how great the developers were in the art at the beginning. Just the fact that we had a really strong kind of open community at the beginning with the art and the strong development team. I think those look to me like winning pieces of the puzzle, and yeah, so far it's been working out.
Yeah, a lot of people say that if you're gonna invest in something, whether it's time, money, whatever it is, you're not investing in the project itself. Sometimes a project can start by sucking, but if you have people that are good, well-intended people with good visions of different things and stuff like that, you're investing in the team. Basically, that's really what you're doing. So I feel like in Axie Infinity, that's the case 100%. Like when I invest in my stuff, even if I'm not giving you the money directly, because now, by the way, guys, when you buy all those assets, you're basically putting the money to other members of the community that have those assets from the beginning. So it's an economy that works for everybody. They take a percentage from the market, but in reality, most of the things that are going on in the Axie community, all those millions of dollars in volume every month, that's basically going to the community, which is amazing. So that leads me to the next question. Did it ever cross your mind that Axie would become the number one game in blockchain? Like we're talking by a lot, and let's not even talk about numbers, because not necessarily, maybe other games might have more people, I don't know, in the blockchain world, but it's not even about that. It's about the whole package, from developers, from content creators, writers, like the whole package. It's the number one. It's the number one. I've seen games that are amazing, and then the content creators are not there, and then you don't have people writing for it, and it's all natural. That's a crazy thing. There's no like incentive per se, like, oh, if you do this, we'll give you this much. No. People are doing it because they love the game and they love the community. So did it ever cross your mind, and for you guys, like this quick?
Yeah, definitely. So we have gone through a recent growth spurt that I think has caught almost everyone by surprise. I think that the community and the core team, we've always thought that Axie is the best game. I think it's just now that other people are starting to find out. They're starting to realize, right? So it's kind of a two-sided thing. Like I've always felt like we're number one, but now it's just that all the numbers kind of
Are showing
back me up when I say that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it feels
absolutely.
good. It feels good. I feel like the more success that comes our way, the more responsibility also kind of is created and rested on the team's shoulders, and even the community, everyone who's helping out. So yeah, I think we have a really good opportunity to make something special happen. It seems like the narrative makes sense to people, the art resonates with people, the game is fun enough right now. We were working on land and updated battle system too, as well. So so it's, I guess, in a long way, like I'm not too surprised, and I feel happy that this is happening, but there's more work than ever. So this is definitely not a time to kind of relax and be appreciative of what we've accomplished. I basically see it as we've accomplished the same thing as a couple of months ago. It's just now more people know about it.
Absolutely. I agree with you. Even for the content creators, it's a race now, because like I need to be on top of Axie Infinity now more than ever because there's so many things going on that if I don't
Mm.
make a video or I'm not on top of it, I miss the opportunity. So it's not a time to relax.
Mm.
Hey, and I thank you guys because my channel has grown a lot because of you guys, and obviously it's my work, but it's a combination. You guys have supported me and all that, and yeah, now it's time to work. Now it's time to grind it and put it out there and make this game like what it is, the number one game on blockchain, and then the number one game in the world. That's the next step. After that, then we can relax when it's the number one in the world. So let me see. So, what are the characteristics, in your opinion, that make Axie a powerhouse in the blockchain gaming? Like, what is it that that makes it such an amazing game? And we already talked about this community and all
So,
that stuff. So just kind of like wrap
yeah,
it
so
up
I
there.
think I I think at the core you need a good product, right? If you just have hype and marketing and without a good product, then it's you actually have something problematic on your hands. So it really comes down to like having a strong base. So the product needs to have both great game design to give kind of like that fun utility to the Axie, but also needs to be mathematically imbued with sound economic principles, right? This is a blockchain game. There's real value at stake. So I think our product has done the best job so far in the blockchain gaming space of kind of balancing like the right level of fun and cuteness, and then also like sound mathematic economic principles. So I think that's at the core, and then everything the community like that's all built on top of that strong foundation. And it's, yeah, so that the community, because I think the vision of Axie, the possibilities, it attracts people with big dreams and people with great imaginations. So I think it inherently has something that attracts the right type of people that you would want to be going on an adventure with. And I think, yeah, that's also like part of the secret sauce is the type of people that get attracted to Axie are usually like pretty solid, hardworking, curious, interesting people.
Yeah, absolutely seen that. Yeah, I agree with you. You have people that are from all kinds of, things. They have done all kinds of things in life, whether it's investing in traditional stocks and stuff. You got people that are hardcore gamers, which are the ones kind of taking the pro thing to another level, which Axie Infinity also has tournaments and stuff like that. You got people like me, which is people that are doing content just to teach other people and bring people in. And I also game too. And then you got all kinds of people. You got people that don't even touch the game, and they're just there for the what you said, the sound economics that Axie Infinity has. Actually, my brother is a huge fan. My brother is a little mathematical brain. He doesn't play it, but when I'm investing in something, whether it's he's in the blockchain world too. So when I'm investing in something, he looks into it, and he's one of the first things he told me when I got into Axie. He told me that's the game, that's the game. It's he saw the rarity, the tokens, all that crap, and he was like, "Yo, that's the game. Trust me, you got to put your money there." And so I agree with
Interesting.
you.
Well,
Incredible, yeah, yeah. What was the characteristic? What's the game design originally designed for play to earn, or was that something that came along like little by little? Was that like something you guys thought about, like, oh, play to earn, like instant play to earn? Because I always say play to earn has other factors, like, which might be a little more complicated. But this one is just like instant play to earn. You play, you earn. It's that simple,
yeah, yeah, yeah. So we came from the CryptoKitties community, and what we saw was that people in the beginning of CryptoKitties, they were breeding and and able to earn some crypto, and that's kind of initially what made it fun. But the inflation rate for the cats was just became ridiculous, so that the floors just crashed and things like that. So I think we have always kept in mind the idea of requiring people to actually play and do some work within the universe to be able to earn the right to breed, right? So that's how in the beginning, that's basically how we've made it so that breeding Axies and thus the whole SLP ecosystem, all of that, like I think is buttressed by our idea that the Axie inflation rate, for example, at the beginning shouldn't be infinite. Like it should be there's basically an optimal rate of growth that accommodates for allowing new players to enter while also allowing for play to earn opportunities, right? It's kind of like it's like the Laffer curve or a bell curve where there's kind of a sweet spot in the middle. And we've actually, we've tried to think about, so we think about that. And so, yeah, I think the idea of play to earn has always been baked into our DNA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. I have to do a little bit of research on all that. I've been doing a lot of research on what's it called, the new thing. Well, you guys did it with your Axies at the beginning, the bonding curve, and it's fucking interesting, man. That's an interesting idea. I'm not really big on math and numbers, but definitely Axie Infinity and blockchain has opened my eyes to all of that. I was always bad at math. Not, I think more by choice. I was just like, fuck this, but definitely I'm looking into that. So I have to look into the bell curve or you're saying all that, so I have a better understanding of all of that. And I don't really mind that I suck at it.
It's just basically the idea that we want the Axie population growth rate can't be like too low and it can't be too high or too fast, right? Can't be growing too slowly. It can't be growing too quickly. There's like an optimal kind of rate of growth that kind of balances the economy.
Yeah, and I see that with the breeding count and then how hard the DNA comes into play. That actually lowers the amount of people that want to breed, because when I started, I was like, let me breed, but then I was like, no, wait, let me think about this. Let me understand the whole concept of this, and then I'll start breeding. So that kind of slows it down for the better, So you start putting out there
right
better. Yeah. Go ahead.
Right. Yeah. Right now, I would like to see more breeding. But with the recent gas prices are really high and things like that. So yeah, it seems like a lot of people are just waiting for Rodin to come.
Absolutely, I'm in there. We'll talk about running in a little bit, and I'm gonna backtrack a little bit because I kind of messed up my questions. But basically, can you tell me a little bit about your role in Axie Infinity? What are the roles of the other founders? Because you're not a founder, like you said, but you're basically a founder. Basically, you're the founder of the community. I would say, like to put it to this level, I think there's a lot of credit for you. That's one thing. And how's your relationship with the founders? And how does it work inside the company? Do things flow, or there's a lot of disputes? You don't have to go into detail, but kind of how is it? How's the environment? Because it's important. That's really important.
All right, so yeah, makes sense. So in terms of my role at Axie, so I'm on the growth side of things. I believe in I believe that it's what I thrive in is kind of giving the community the rhetoric and the kind of vision necessary to basically get the word of mouth engine for Axie kind of spreading, right? So people always say talk about word of mouth marketing, but it's actually the mouths of the community that is doing that. That is actually spreading the game, and I believe in crafting the vision and giving good kind of talking points and a clear, coherent vision to the community so that they can get the rest of the world involved. I also help out on economic design things such as the governance token that will be coming out, a little bit of game design as well. Help out on biz dev. Yeah, so in terms of we're not too caught up on titles at Axie. So yeah, I'm one of the original team, one of the the first couple of team members. That's just the way that I look at it. And
that's important. That's important. That is, you guys are not caught up like, oh, I'm the chief. Like, yeah, everybody knows their role and things just kind of like go, they flow. Everybody does their thing, and as long as nobody's slacking, we're good. Let's do it. It's that how it is.
Yeah, so internally there are always a variety of teams working on different projects, and I think it's for like the art team and the game design team have to be really in sync. The engineering team has to be in sync with basically everybody. Um, the community and biz dev, we have to coordinate with engineering for like releases and stuff. So it's all the team we have around 25 people right now, so it still has that kind of tight knit feel. I think it's a pretty nice level actually, in terms of we're not so starved for we're not so starved for people to actually help drive forward the vision as in the beginning when there's only like 5 people, but it's not so big that it feels kind of impersonal. So I think we're at an optimal level, and yeah.
Interesting.
I guess
So what does
inter-team,
yeah. Oh,
inter-team
you have a
collaboration is really
delay.
important. Yeah.
Okay. So you are a growth lead. Psych out is
Yeah, he's operations or the COO.
COO. Okay, and then Trung is the CEO.
Yeah,
That's his. Okay, just to understand kind of like the whole thing. Okay, interesting, very interesting. So you guys already know these guys have a smooth workplace, which is really important because a lot of times if you have a lot of friction, things don't work. Even with great minds, especially with great minds, that happens a lot. There's a lot of conflict of ideas and stuff like that. But as you guys know, that's not gonna happen for now. For now, we're good. This is the ball is rolling, baby. The ball is rolling. Okay. All right. So what is a team right now most excited to release that we don't know about yet? Like something that we don't know, but you can release it. Like you can say it. Like you can say about it. Tell me something. Come on, leak, baby.
So I think people don't really know much about the governance token and how much work has gone into that. So, and I'm really excited about that. And I think that's I was actually expecting this like hyper growth phase to like happen when we released the token, not like before. But I guess people are getting ready.
Okay, do we have like something coming up that maybe we can officially read what the Luna token is? Because I've done a video. We got Enjoy, I think. Was it Enjoy that made a video? No, I mean not a video, a document on an article on it. Is there something coming out soon? I don't know, like a post or something like here's the Luna token.
Yeah, when the time comes, when the time is right, we will lay everything out in a very, detailed and specific manner. And you won't, there'll be. I mean, I'm sure there'll be more questions. There always is, but we have a big knowledge base ready to unleash upon the world, and we're waiting for the right moment.
Okay. All right, so let's jump into something a little bit part of the community, but it's kind of one of the pillars. You got the community, and then you got content, then you got writers, then you got artists, and let's jump into art. I seen you've been very active with the artists in Axie Infinity, which is amazing. You bought art, to engage in the art, so they stimulate the art community within the Axie world. So let me ask you. Have you always been into art, or is it something right now that kind of like you started like, hey, I kind of like art and I'm appreciating it and let me support it? Like, yeah.
Yeah. So my dad was a painter.
Okay.
When he was quite young, he had a gallery. So yeah, I've always been interested in that. And one of the things that we noticed really early on is that Axie attracted a lot of incredible community artists. And so, we've had people like Exto, Ex-Human Wife has been making Axie art for as long as we can remember. Rage was making amazing animations. So this isn't just necessarily a recent phenomenon. But the thing about the Rarible art that I find interesting is that it's makes it a little bit more easy for the artists to monetize, and I think it's attracting more artists to the community as well. So I've collected a couple of the ones that I really like, and it's good to see more artistic experimentation within the Axie community.
Okay, yeah, that's important. Art is one of the things that culturizes people. You know, like it gives you different perspective. It gives you things to talk about, to think, and you kind of analyze. You see art, you're like, oh crap, an Axie on a spaceship, and then you start thinking, oh, maybe that could happen in the future. Maybe somebody could build something for Axie. Because you guys are thinking about doing something like an SDK, which I just recently learned, something like that, right?
Mm. Yeah, definitely. We're excited. So we're looking to
Leaks.
make it so that anyone can build games on top of Axie pretty easily. That's more of a long-term thing. We see the whole like Roblox market. Roblox takes, I believe, like almost 50% from their community developers. So that is a market that's ripe to be disrupted by, very because of the high fees. So yeah, I think that user-generated content makes a lot of sense with the blockchain game, and long term, I want Axie to dominate in that arena.
Okay. So let's talk about a little bit about money, about cash. What are the main sources of income for the Axie Infinity team right now? I know we got marketplace, but I'm sure there's other things that we don't know about, and I just want to see how it flows. You know how things flow in the company.
Yeah. So I wouldn't necessarily say there's places that you won't know about. I mean, there's the marketplace commission right now.
Okay.
There's a breeding fee. We actually we're VC backed, right? So we had investors come in, and our main goal right now is to just grow Axie. So we see Axie as a network, right? It's not just about monetizing, like trying to squeeze money out of people. It's about building something that's cool, right? Building something that's fun, that attracts people, that has a good community. That always, that when you have that creates value that can then be uh, captured in other ways. I rather so I
Right.
think
It starts flowing by
one of
itself.
yeah, exactly. So one of the things that I think we'll see with blockchain games is more of a network based kind of growth model where all you want to do is grow the network as big as possible, right? Like people are familiar with the idea of Facebook, Amazon. These companies, they didn't make money for years, almost 20 years in some cases, right? It's all about just growth at the beginning. So I think that actually the traditional gaming model is really flawed in that they try and monetize up front. They try and it's a different model where you get someone to buy the game and they might have a little bit of enjoyment out of it. Whereas I think what Axie aims to be is a lot. It's like a social network more, right? It's a community. People come in, it's a hobby. They don't people don't leave Axie, right? Once you become a member of
Right.
the once you become a member of the Axie community, you're a community member for life. You may stop even playing the game, but you'll always be around. You may be You may be interested in collecting. We have a really high retention rate, and that's more characteristic of a kind of a network model than a quote unquote game.
True. I can actually tap into that because I've been a Call of Duty player for such, and I'm not here to trash Call of Duty or Activision or anything like that, but I've been a Call of Duty player since I was a kid. I've been playing Call of Duty for so long. Like I'm talking about like my first Call of Duty was Call of Duty 2, and where I'm getting into is that every single year it's monetizing without giving the community what they want, right? The community almost has no say. So I'm at a point right now where I'm not even buying the next Call of Duty because of that. Like you're losing how do you lose a 10-year, 15-year customer? Like, and this is the moment. Like I'm not buying it again. That's it. Because I have no say. I feel like I'm buying something and it's what they give me. And people, you follow all this traditional gamers, and it's crazy how much they complain about, and I understand them about things in the community because they have no say. They're like, oh, this is like this. How come they haven't fixed it? Da 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 da. And I know sometimes people are harsh because they don't understand developing, and developing takes time. But at the same time, they do nothing for the community. And I feel like blockchain is changing that in a big way, and especially Axie Infinity. So I'm really excited to see where all this is going to lead to. And in terms of the VC, you guys are backed by, I think it's Hashed, right?
Yeah, Hash is one of the investors.
Oh, it's one of the investors. Okay, yeah, I saw that a few months ago. So they have quite a few investments. So that's pretty cool. Um, Let me see. So, for how much is Axie Infinity worth as a whole, and how do you calculate that? Like, how do you say, okay, Axie Infinity is worth? Like, I don't even know because this is kind of community owned. Like, how do you do that? For the people that are like me that are not savvy in mathematics like how do you calculate this? Is there a way to calculate it?
Yeah, I mean, so one way to look at it, it's very difficult. So one base way to do it is to kind of look at how what is the yearly volume on the marketplace? What's 4% of that? So then you can kind of get like protocol fees from that. Also, like basically, what are the different fees, right? So there's the marketplace, there's a breeding fee, um,
And you take kind of like what
and
do you guys
and
earn
and
from
and
that?
yeah, and then you can multiply that by like 30 or 100, depending, to get like a kind of a base model. Financial modeling is, I actually know how to do it a fair amount, and it's very like it's a more of an art than a science. It's kind of like you make some assumptions, like yeah, just 30 to 100, like maybe 50, like so yeah, financial modeling is an art, man. But basically what you would do is kind of look at what are all the kind of fees within the Axie universe, and what is the growth rate, what is volume looking like,
So it's a
what
more
are
like a
comparable
projection type of thing.
projects. Yeah, it's kind of an estimate, right?
Okay, okay,
What are
interesting.
comparable projects worth?
Okay, nice. So are you guys working right now on Lunasia? And there's another project, right? It's called Project L, or is it the same? Just
Yeah. So right now, land gameplay is full steam ahead. We're working really hard on that. There's been a lot of progress. I'm super excited about it. Yeah, I think it's starting to look really good. Our main criteria for that is we want it to be visually astounding. We want it to be beautiful when we show it to the community, and we want you guys to be excited. And so we're working on that. Yeah, Project L. I'm not going to leak anything about Project L.
okay, okay.
Project L is probably not something that anybody is expecting, though. Um, that's all I'll
Oh,
say.
that's a good enough for me. Nobody's expecting. I'm putting it in the title, man. Leaks, big leaks. All right, man. I totally understand. I'm not gonna push you on that. I know you're not gonna give in because that's what you guys done this whole time. Just keep it secret and deliver. So I'm really excited about it too. Well, I don't know what it is, but I'm excited. Okay. So let me ask you, because a lot of people want to work with Axie Infinity. A lot of people want to work because it's a team that you can just feel it, man. Like, look, like when it, when it comes to me and my family and stuff like that, we have values. So when you kind of like feel value, it's hard to explain it, but you feel people, there are good intentions and stuff, and you right away you're like attracted to being part of that. So that's kind of how it feels with Axie Infinity. So are you guys thinking of opening positions in the future for trusted community members? And you came from basically the community, so is that something you guys are looking into, maybe, or are you just guys going with the flow and whatever comes up, and if you need it, then you start like implementing it? Like, is that something you guys talked about before?
I think empowering the community and giving you all like economic opportunities and abilities to kind of build little businesses within Lunasia and within around the ecosystem. I think that's really important. But the future of work looks different than the traditional like just hiring people model or whatever, hiring community members. Like I don't even know if that's the right model. It might be something to do with the governance token, where so yeah, I think something where there's like an
Leaks.
ecosystem fund, where there's like something like a ecosystem fund that gets allocated to help like community content creators, things like that. I think that's an interesting feature.
Yeah, it's like
So
bounty
yeah,
style, work for hire type of stuff. But it's better to do it like that. Not no
it's kind
compromises.
and and it's kind of like yeah, you can have good incentives, right? It's like
Hmm.
even employees, right? Is like token holders can have a really long kind of incentive within the network related to just like an employee who has no equity or no tokens, right? So,
So basically, hold your tokens, baby. That's the leak right there. You're gonna, you're gonna earn a lot of money. All right, I'm just kidding, just
yeah.
kidding, just kidding, just kidding. So we talked about the Luna token. You guys are being secretive about it, and we understand why. There's a lot to it. It's going to be basically the center of Axie Infinity. This is not something absolutely, like confirmed. We kind of know it from a lot of posts and Discord and stuff like that, little bits here and there. So we kind of have an understanding that it's going to be basically the gold of the game. So you're going to be able to do so many things with the Luna token. That's basically what we know. So how can people earn Luna token? Is that something we could talk about, or will it be sold, or is it something that is going to be, like you said, incentives, and that way you can like pick them up, like
I think there are going to be a
through.
lot of ways to. I think there are going to a lot of ways to get it, right? It's like play to earn, uh, buy it, earn it by doing making content or building something. I think I want there to be ways for anyone to work or anyone to kind of get some of the token
Right. So not
depending
only
on
like
their kind
doing
of
one thing.
profile.
Yeah. Okay, got it. So let me ask you about the SLP model. The SLP model, is it something that is gonna stay like that, where like you basically earn it from playing, or is that something that might change in the future? Is it something that you're gonna be able to maybe earn also in land play, or only in adventure mode? And I mean, arena mode. Is that something you could talk?
Yeah, so I mean, so what I'll say is that there are probably going to be many resources in the future, right? Like wood, stone. We actually in a development update showed like huge bunch of resources, right? And theoretically, a lot of those could be ERC 20s too. So
Okay, but the SLP itself is for breeding. So
yeah, I think
will I be
so.
able?
SLP is for breeding. It'll always be used for breeding.
Okay. That
Probably
was kind of my questions.
there's
So
a lot of
basically, you
there are kind
always
of
need it.
people who are like, yeah. I mean, it should always be used for breeding.
It should always be for breeding, but but that could that could change. Maybe upgrade. Hey guys, maybe upgrade
I
Axies.
mean, there's small. So what I'll say is, right, it's like small love potion, right? So that leaves open the possibility for medium love potion, large love potion, right? So
So basically, convert your Axie into a beast mode Axie with medium, and that's how you will basically. This is me just theorizing here, guys. He hasn't told me anything, but imagine you have an Axie that is level 10, and then you have to, you have to increase it to another level. I don't know, something like that. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, can you tell us a bit? I know you have a post. I kind of want to do it quick. I don't want to get you tired here. So what is land play like? Just a little overview of what is land play, so people understand kind of what it is.
yeah, so I think land play is heavily inspired by games like Stardew Valley, Clash of Clans, even Animal Crossing.
Okay.
Right? So this idea of carving out a life for yourself in a new world with cute creatures, harvesting resources, building up your land to make it more sophisticated. Um,
And
so yeah, I think that's
sustainable.
generally that's what we're looking for. That's what the kind of that's kind of the fusion that we're aiming for. And yeah, I think a
Interesting.
lot of people are really excited about the idea of being able to harvest tokens and waking up in the morning, harvesting your tokens, and Lunacia and um, collaborating with their neighbors too. I think like I want land play to be, or we want land play to be very like social as well.
Okay, I have a very interesting question, because A lot of people have told me, and even recently, today, I answered to somebody on my YouTube, and they told me, "Oh, the land is too expensive." Da 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 da. And I understand, it's the community. This is not Axie Infinity. Axie Infinity is not saying, here's a price. We, the community, are the ones that are buying and selling, and we're the ones putting the price. So you don't blame Axie and don't blame anybody. It's just kind of like, it's just kind of things that just happen with the community as you sell and build value in the community. So with that in mind, let's say land goes for a lot of money and people can't reach lands, like economically, they can't buy it. It's possible for that to happen, and it's even happening now where some people might not be able to buy it. And is there going to be a way for me maybe to rent the land out and lend it to somebody? Because I know Sandbox has it, the Sandbox thing has it integrated. Is that something that maybe you guys are looking into? Don't have to confirm, just kind of like that concept of doing that.
Yeah, we're very interested in the idea of like lending, and
Lending
I think that's part of the solution. That's part of
Okay.
the solution. So in terms of like lowering this barriers to entry, right? There are a couple of things, right? There's like the free model where you basically get highly reduced or zero rewards. So it's like you can try it out, but you can't actually get any economic benefit from it, or very small economic benefit for it. Or there's the kind of sharecropper, right? Or the renting model. So I think like some combination of both makes sense. So let's kind of think of the current Axie game, and what that would mean, right? So it's, imagine if we have free Axies that have like, you can only earn 10% of the SLP, with the soulbound Axies, that are free, right? You would then still see people like AK doing the scholarship program, right? At a 30% cut, because the new players would start would probably still rather do something like that than the free model that's at only 10% rewards, right? So.
Yeah, that's such an interesting program. By the way, shout out to AK. He's done something really good for the community. For you guys that don't know what it is, I'm gonna cut it plain and simple. Basically, he has like 1,800 Axies, and he creates accounts where he lends you the Axies, but you don't really own them. Like, you don't have control over the wallet, but basically you earn, and then he basically gives you 70% of whatever you earn at the end of the month, and then he takes 30%. Obviously, that's a great deal because those Axies that he has, most of them are really, really good. So we're talking about maybe in the market value, he's giving you maybe 90, that he's probably giving you $250 worth of Axies and for you to use. So basically, you're competing at a high level, and he's only taking away 30% of it. So it's a really good deal. And right now it's full, by the way. So you could try to get in, but there's too many requests, obviously. But yeah, that's an amazing thing that AK has done there. I'm really interested in seeing people being able, because it's hard for me to answer because I don't have the answers. But I want to see people to be able to get in, and from the beginning, I always said like, oh, let's do giveaways, let's do this, let's do that. But obviously, sometimes giveaways are not the best ways because people are just coming for the giveaway and then leave. So it's kind of like, whatever. We'll find a way. We'll find a way.
And the way that I see it, I tend to like, if I see someone who like, has a lot of genuine interest and doesn't look like they're begging or something, like sometimes I'll kind of secretly send them an Axie to get started or something like that. Yeah, I think like, the scholarship is a really interesting experiment, and it's been really cool to see that kind of take off.
Yeah, it would be. It would be cool if people could do it automatically, without him having to take out the money and being the center of everything. But yeah, I think
we were just talking about how we may need to, put more time into to basically enabling stuff like that.
Okay, nice, interesting. So wait, we might have a chance to do that automatically. Hey, leaks, baby, leaks. Just kidding.
Yeah, I mean, I won't promise anything, but
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I look forward to that if it happens. Can you tell me a little bit about running and talk about it in a very base level because not everybody understands blockchain, and when you tell people, oh, the Ethereum network is congested, people are like, what the hell are you talking about? What do you mean it's congested? You know, we understand it, but some of the people don't. So what is running basically versus Ethereum? Like, what are you trying to achieve here? I understand it, but for the people that don't get it.
Yeah, definitely. So Ronin is an Ethereum sidechain that we're building to basically make our game easier to play and cheaper to play. So right now there's something called gas fees on Ethereum, which have been really high recently. So that's kind of like increasing the cost of doing business within Lunasia. And so yeah. So basically Ronin will make Axie
Run smoother.
cheaper to play. Yeah, just run smoother, faster, better. And I think that's the main kind of those are the main benefits to kind of focus in on. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, so for you guys that don't understand that, I'll give you I'm gonna add to what he said. Basically, you got the Ethereum network, which is the main avenue of things. Imagine a big avenue with a lot of cars, and everybody's going to work, but then Axie Infinity says, okay, let's do an adjacent or parallel street just for Axie Infinity. That's basically what it is. It still connects to the main avenue whenever you want, but for you to go to Axie Infinity to work, that's where you go. And only people from Axie Infinity are going to be in that lane. So that's basically what it is. That's a good explanation, I guess, for people to understand.
Yeah, it's a nice way of thinking about it.
Yeah. So in terms of, we're almost at a close here. We have a few more questions.
Sure.
So in terms of legality of tokens, NFTs, and this whole blockchain world, is operating in the United States right now a difficult thing to do?
Yeah, no, I guess no comment. No comment on that. Yeah, I don't want to talk about like
Okay, that's fine.
anything
That's totally fine.
related to that maybe.
No, I understand. Do you see?
Maybe you want to do a different one.
Okay. Do you see an end to this kind of brick wall, which is kind of the same question, but in terms of maybe you guys coming to the United States or having a HQ here, right? Is that something you guys want to in the future?
So I think like one of the benefits of Axie is the fact that we're able to operate in Vietnam, which has a really low, basically allows us to have a very low burn rate compared to other blockchain companies.
Okay.
So that's one of the reasons that we're able to survive during the bear market, for example, is that we've always had very low, basically a very low burn rate. So I think that's one of our competitive advantages.
Okay.
So
Nice.
I think like also it's like we're moving into a digital age, right? So I think having a physical office, I think it's becoming less important as well.
True. But there's always something about a physical office versus, like, let's say I go visit you guys or somebody goes visit. Like, there's something about, having like a sculpture of an Axie and then like this kind of world in real life, right? Where you can like interact with the founders there. It's kind of like a different vibe, so that's why I ask. So,
and that's also why we have a physical office. It's great to have visitors there, and it's really good, for having the team together and bonding, especially the early days, and we don't know each other that well. So.
Absolutely. So, what needs to happen, in your opinion, for blockchain games to like go kaboom, like mainstream? And this question is more open, meaning that you can tell me like what needs to happen in the blockchain world first before games actually take off. In your opinion, what needs to happen? What really needs to happen here?
Well, I think that gamers are already losing trust in traditional gaming institutions. So that is a process that kind of happens over time gradually and then kind of all at once. So I think that's happening. I also think that blockchain games need to get better. They need to be more fun. Blockchain gamers they will refer their real life friends if they're confident that they're dealing with a very high quality product from a team with a high level of integrity. That's why Axie has been growing recently. Is our crypto native users referring their friends and family from real life, and that's how you do it. You need to have a good product that is something that can attract different types of people and is something with a high viral coefficient. Theoretically, if a product is good enough and shareable enough, it can go viral from just 1,000 core people. I think Axie has that. We have the recipe to make something like that happen, and something like the governance token, and more play to earn opportunities, more fun experiments. Those will start to get the rest of the world in.
Absolutely, yeah. I don't blink. I don't think about it twice before I tell somebody to join Axie Infinity, and that's because I'm confident. Like you said, I have that confidence of saying this is a great game, this is a great community. There's no like almost no flaws. Like that, it's hard to say that, but it's almost true. Like it feels like that. And even when there's flaws, you guys tackle them right away, which is really important. That if you don't deliver on something, you are right at the front and say, hey guys, we couldn't deliver, and you guys are honest about it, which is so important. Honesty kills everything that is wrong. Like anything that might be wrong, you tackle it with honesty. And honestly, I'm sorry that I use the same word, but it just kills everything, and people respect you for that. So I think Axie Infinity has that. So that's one of the things that Axie Infinity has. All right, so let's jump in.
It's really important to be.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's good to be very transparent in terms of what's going on in the development process, and I think that's something that we've also improved that over time.
Okay. All right. I want to jump into, and we're at the end here. I want to jump into some questions that people had on Twitter, and the first question is from JB Master Crypto. He says, we already talked about this, but I'm just gonna. What is the plan for Luna token? I'm gonna answer that. There's not much to say right now. They're working on it. So, ask him what would they consider SOP, perhaps abundant curve. Like, would that be something that makes sense here? Because SOP is not for sale, so a bonding curve wouldn't make a lot of sense. Would it?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that person was trying to say. I guess like the only way that you can get SLP right now and in the future is by playing Axie or getting it from Uniswap.
Okay. So let's jump into Aur. I don't know how to say his name. Axie Aur. He's a member of the community, a huge member. Mm-hmm. Ask him what Mystic Axie utility will be going forward. Ask him land release date. Ask him if players will need to manually work their lands or whether it can be partially automated. Okay, so we talked a little bit about that in the previews. We talked about land. They're thinking about automating it. So that's that. Release date, you guys are now ready for that, right? To say anything. And then the Mystic utility, maybe you guys can talk a little bit about that. You can talk about a little bit.
Yeah, so we just put out that article about Mystics today. Mm-hmm. And basically in terms of utility, basically in the past, we've said that Mystics will be the only part that can be upgraded to Legendary, or we haven't really explicitly defined what Legendary or Level 4 means, though. Okay. We've also said that I think like a lot of what makes Mystics special are just that they're limited, they're scarce, they look awesome, but yeah, like the way that I personally think about Mystic utility is it shouldn't make an Axie overpowered, right? In like Arena, it shouldn't be able to just like melt face against other people in terms of power, but maybe the ability to augment earnings or boost earnings. So, for example, if you had Mystic Axie on a Mystic land plot, like does that unlock some kind of cool bonus? That's something that I think is more in line with our approach, if that makes
Okay.
sense. So like
No, yeah,
basically
absolutely.
augmenting the earning potential rather than the battle potential, or the power potential, I think is a very clear delineation, right? So we don't
Yeah,
want
I
to
agree
make
with
it
that.
so
I
that
agree with that.
a Mystic actually just goes into arena or whatever and just starts
Slams everybody.
destroying people.
Yeah.
PvE is different than PvP, right? Because when something is OP in PvP, it creates a negative experience for another player. Whereas stuff that's really strong in PvE, kind of it's more justifiable, I think.
True, true. It's more like a vanity thing. Like, okay, you got more and you look better and whatever and this and that, but you're not really affecting another person directly. So I agree with that. Yeah, absolutely. When is foreseen official release of the game? That's is that something you can answer or?
Yeah, so in terms of like basically like a mainstream release of the game, I guess like on Apple, on Google Play Store and iOS, I would say we're looking at next year. But I also think that Axie is never finished, right? So that's kind
Mm-hmm.
of a hard question for me to answer. I see the Axie universe as something that's constantly being developed on top of, and we've already released basically like 2 battle systems, right? And then we have a third one coming out. So I think that we're always just looking to make it better. The people, like, they're still thinking in like a mainstream kind of like framework, right? Where it's like
Right.
titles, like you release something and it goes on Xbox or Switch, right?
It's an
Whereas we're
ongoing
more like,
project.
yeah,
Yeah.
I believe in like always just built, it's never finished, right? It's
It's
just
never
something to
finished.
always be improved. So I think people who try and say like when is the game being released, like I think they're thinking in an
Traditional.
antiquated framework that doesn't apply to this new world.
Absolutely, absolutely. So some people are like, here, ask him to open a few land sales. So let's talk about a little bit about that. Is there any land sales coming this year or next year? Are you guys planning to put it together with some big release at the same time without saying which release it is? Like, are you planning to like simultaneously, like, this is gonna release and this is gonna release at the same time? Boom. So it's like an explosion of people buying land and then land play coming out.
More land is something that we need to think very carefully about, and also like to have input from the community. It's something that could be a good thing to kind of maybe be one of the first governance votes, right? Is like should there be in quadrant 2 like opened up, like that could be an interesting thing to kind of allow people to signal their support for with a governance token. That's just kind of off the top of my head. It's not something that we've necessarily discussed much internally. So yeah, it's not, the team, we're not strapped for cash or anything. We're not trying to necessarily monetize yet or make money. So yeah, I think like a land sale, that'll be something that will basically be something that affects landholders and our token holders quite a bit. So I think listening to what they say, and kind of that is important. I also think that it makes sense to kind of keep an eye on, like, yeah, if we had another land sale now, would that be like a great way to grow the community and introduce Axie to like a bunch of new people? That's the main. I see the land sales as ways to basically like do a big campaign for people to feel like they have a chance to get in, kind of on the ground floor, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
I think
And and the buying part of the land, that's something obviously that is just me thinking. Like, obviously, I would be for something that restricts people from having a power of buying all of it at the same time. Like, let me buy 300 plots, 500 plots real quick. And I don't mind people that could do that. Like, I don't mind it. If you can do it, you can do it. Great. But it's just, I'm more for like everybody having a chance, just so that the community actually grows, you know, organically, and people are like, damn, I want to get in, I can get one, like you said, like that feeling of having that opportunity. And imagine, I have saved up to buy Axie and Axie lands. Imagine somebody that is 18 years old, is working at a gas station or whatever, and they just saved up $150, $200 to, to buy two lands. And it's just that feeling, right? So that they can get in, and we have all kinds of people within the community. So that's something hopefully we can achieve. This is a little bit more fun question. What's your favorite Axie?
Yeah, I like Durandale because I owned him for a while. Yeah. Otherwise, Stella. Stella is my avatar on Discord. Stella is like basically the only kind of confirmed legendary part and that we've shown is Stella's like horn, which is a spirit crown. So yeah, come find me on Discord if you want to see what it looks like.
Okay. So this is the last question. Will people be able to display NFT art on their land? Is it gonna look more like top down? Are you gonna be able to kind of appreciate your land like that in such a close close encounter? Like, is that something you can talk about, or no? Or is it gonna be hard for people to make a display of an art or of an artwork or something?
There's something that. So what I'll say is a lot of the virtual worlds out there, they need to have that, or else there's gonna be nothing in them, right? Like,
Right.
because they don't really have like easy tools to build like games inside, right? It's more just kind of like a visual world where there's not much there, and you can kind of build something, right? So I think that's cool. Like Crypto Voxels, for example, is really awesome. It's very art centric. Whereas Axie, like we're gonna have a lot of stuff for people to actually do within the universe, and that might, we're gonna focus more on that than making it another place, just another place where people can show off their art. Does that make sense? Like virtual worlds and land systems that are built for showing off art. That niche is already like kind of there are already people doing awesome stuff. There's already people doing awesome stuff like that. But we think this idea of farming land, getting tokens, like that's something that there's a huge demand for, but that's being not fulfilled right now. So I think that's the bigger opportunity, more so than like thinking about art. Yeah.
Okay, this is the last question from me. And we didn't talk about the Mystic craze that just went on, $162,000. We got Ivan on Tech talking about it. We got so many people talking about it. It's freaking crazy. What are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts? Like, do you see this coming? Do you think they're even worth that much money? What do you think about this? I want to know. What's your view on this? Other than, oh, that's amazing, because I know think it's amazing.
I also like, yeah, I want those mystics, man. Like the mystics are crazy. Those are incredibly rare. And yeah, congrats to all the different groups coming in, different collectors, institutions like Delphi Digital. Shout out to them who are actually kind of laying the framework for a new era in digital asset ownership and digital collectible ownership. So yeah, it's just mind blowing to me. I'm really happy that it's happened. And a lot of our kind of long-term believers who have always believed in mystics, like they're finally like being like, yeah, we weren't crazy, right? Like we were right. So that's a really good feeling. Yeah, it's pretty special to see what's been happening, and obviously like great publicity and excitement is always good, and it brings the community closer together, and it's not something that you can kind of go back from. So yeah, I just want everyone to stay level-headed though, and to know that money money is just a number. So it's really cool. Like, and I see it, I'm more happy because I see it as a sign that Axie is starting to get the recognition that we deserve.
True. I'm absolutely with you. And I come from a family like that. I don't know. Money is it's a good tool. It's a tool. It's what it is. It's a tool. It's a great tool actually. But it's not the center of everything. It's really not. It's really not. If it were, then you wouldn't have people that are nice or whatever. People would just think about money. It's not the center of everything. It's just a tool, one more tool that helps you go through life and stuff like that. So, absolutely, I agree with you. So, hey, man, last question. I know you're working. I know you have stuff to do, man, and you know you're
No
a
problem,
busy
man.
person. You're a busy person. What are you most excited about in the gaming industry as a whole, as a blockchain gaming industry? What are you most excited? Like, what is it that you're like? I'm excited about layer twos, Ethereum. I don't know, something. What is it?
Yeah, I'm excited about the idea of turning players into owners. So stop playing the games that you play and start owning the games that you play. And I think that's a revolutionary kind of paradigm shift. And yeah, I wanna help make that happen. Someone's gonna make it happen. It's gonna happen. And I think that Axie is gonna be a major player in that story.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you. I said it before and I'm going to say it right now again. Axie Infinity is literally the blueprint for every single game that wants to get into the blockchain industry, even in the blockchain industry itself. Because I've talked to other games, I'm not going to mention any names, but I've talked to them about governance. I've talked to them about community. How can we expand? And they just don't understand. They don't understand. But when Axie Infinity, thankfully, somebody bought $162,000 so that other games, I'm seeing other games from other platforms coming in and trying to, I want to say take advantage, but trying to like be part of it because they understand now that Axie Infinity is building the blueprint and Axie Infinity is building the blueprint for other games to come in. And I'm so excited for that because it is time. It is time for people to own what they play with. It's time for that. I'm done spending money on stuff that doesn't matter. That the next year I don't even own it. It's totally. I'm mad. I'm mad, but I'm also happy because Axie Infinity is making it happen, baby. Axie Infinity, baby. You guys need to
Awesome,
get
man.
into
Yeah,
this
no,
game.
I think you got it.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
got it. You got it.
Hey man, I just want to thank you so much for being so open to the community. Every time I hit you up, whether it's with Axie Infinity issues or not even issues, just ideas, always open. And every single one of the founders and core team always open to listening. Always straight up. Yeah, I even said ideas before where Psycho told me, hey man, look, right now we're not looking into that. I would rather not think about that. And he's just straight up about it without making you feel bad. It's like they're always paying attention to the community. They don't want to stifle innovation, but they also have their focus, which that you gotta appreciate that. When somebody tells you, no, right now we're not looking into that, maybe in the future, right now we're focused on this. And that's just focus and having the right mind and at the same time taking care of the community. And that's something you guys have done. And I totally appreciate that because it's just, I feel like I'm part of a family. I know I'm part of a family. And a lot of people feel this way, man. A lot of people. And you have been one of those pillars, man. You're always there. You're always treating people good, no matter what. Never with a mad face. None of that. Even I'm sure he's a human and he gets mad or he's like frustrated. Never shown that. Never. And it's incredible. So I appreciate that so much, man.
Thanks, man. Yeah, thanks for everything that you do, and yeah, I'm really excited to see your progress and as you know, kind of being the guy who's putting blockchain gaming on YouTube, right? But actually, we used to never get referrals from YouTube because I always check like where are our new players coming from, the new people who are on our downloads page, and it's only been since you kind of came up that we've been getting people from YouTube. And so, yeah, I can see the effect that your videos are having on the ecosystem. I also saw like you were referring so many people to AK's scholarship program because he's able to say like, oh, like how did you find out about this? So many of them were coming from your channel, man. So there's a lot of people who are out there watching your videos because they feel lost in their lives. Like they're looking for some way to earn a little income, right? They're interested in this idea of playing a game. So yeah, I think you're doing really important work, man. And yeah, you know, it was awesome to come on and hang out with you. And yes, always know that I'm here to help.
Yeah, and I always like to shout out other creators because I'm not the only one. We got Axie Chat, we got Cloud White, we got Chief, we got AX. He does D Live as well. We got so many people. We got
Yeah.
Axie GG, a big ass little clan. We got so many people. Join the Discord today. Join Axie Infinity today. You guys won't regret it. Even if you don't play it, just to be part of the community. Actually, I invite you to not even play it and just be part of the community. And you're gonna be there for one day, and I promise you that you're gonna be like, I'm missing out. I'm gonna have to buy in and get into it. I'm not even selling you this. This is something that's just gonna happen naturally. I'm telling you right now because I experienced it and I'm putting a lot of time into Axie Infinity and I'm not getting paid for this. Like they're not paying me to do this interview. No, this is something I want to do. It's something I want to do. So thank you so much again, man. Thank you so much, and for the whole team, shout out to them too, and let them know much love from this side. Okay.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks so much.
And say what's up to your
No
wife as
problem.
well, beautiful wife.
For sure.
And
Thanks, man.
you are a lucky man. You're a lucky man. Maybe one day I'll get as lucky as you.
You could get, you could get a girlfriend too if you play Axie Infinity. That's what they say.
Axie gang, Axie gang, Axie gang. All right, man. All right. Much love. Have a good one, man.